What up, Nitro family? It's cool to join again with TTR Racing. Man, just sitting up here doing some maintenance on my truck. I just thought I would just share some tips with my Nitro family to show you when it's time to do maintenance on your truck, the things to look for when it's time to replace or rebuild. So, first thing that I do is I totally go ahead on and clean the truck, get all the get all the excess dirt off of it, which will make it easy for you to see what all need to be replaced, to see what all need to be rebuilt, and also it cuts down on your time, on your maintenance redoing your truck. So it just help first to go ahead on and clean it. And when we have these cars, man, it's more than just keeping them clean to look good. You got to do your maintenance. The maintenance is the number one thing, especially in Nitro. Your maintenance is just as important as tuning your engine. It may be more important because you don't want to have a good tuning engine and then you break down, some break or some snaps, or you blow out a diff, or you blow out a bearing, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good for you to go ahead on, clean it off, and then do your maintenance on it. Like I said, it's just as important as having a good tuned engine. It's really more important because all these little parts can break, dirt get up in there and stuff. So this is just as important as having a good tuned engine. And so I know with a lot of the racers and bashers, especially with the bashers, really more important for the bashers, because I know the bashers love to run. They love to run .32 engines, 28s, 25, all those big motors that produce a whole lot of torque and a whole lot of a lot of top end, and they, and y'all love to modify them too on top of that. So you, with those modified engines and those 32s and 28s, you got to do your maintenance. You got to do your maintenance really more than the ones with the racers with the 21s, because again, those engines produce so much torque and power. Your maintenance got to be on point, especially your drive shaft maintenance. Your drivetrain is, very important. Your drivetrain got to be on point. So just gonna go over a few things to look for, what to look for in your drivetrain to keep it running good, keep it running smooth, and keep the stuff from, keep your motor from your car from breaking down on you. So like I said, I'm going over my truck right now, but all this apply for buggies and trucks. You do the same thing. Okay, what I do, I go around the car and just shake the arms like this. You see how this arm has a lot of play? See how it has a lot of play? Right there where the hinge pin is, right there. Basically over time, from hitting pipes, like me racing, hitting pipes, me out there bashing, jumping, with the truck landing more weight on this side or the left side, either way, over time, that hinge pin hole stretches, you know what I'm saying? So that lets you know right there, that's number one. And you do this all over the truck, all over your buggy. Just shake the arms. See how this arm is tight? See, this was still pretty good. Go to the rear. Do the same thing. You see, it's pretty tight. See, that's pretty tight. It's got a little play, but it's still, I could probably run this probably about 10 more runs on that. That's probably be real good. Then it'd be time to take it off. But definitely this one has to go. Has to be replaced. But since you're replacing one, it makes sense. You got two in the pack. Might as well go and knock it out and do both of them. So you'll be ready to go. At least you get over at least 20 runs, and you'll be good to go. So that's the first thing. Just check your arms. Make sure it doesn't have play. If it doesn't have play, it's good. If it does have play like mine does, it's just time to replace. Because if I keep running it like this, it's going to put pressure on my shocks. They're going to make my shocks go way forward, which can make my rod and my shock can make that bend, you know what I'm saying? Because it's out of line. And it'll put pressure on my drivetrain, my diff cups, my out drives. It'll put extra pressure on my out drives and my diffs with your arm, with all that playing the movement like that. It'll put pressure on your sway bars. So it's just time, you know, over time, it's just time to be replaced. It's just time to replace it. And number 2, your axles. This is very important. When you have a lot of play on your axles, look at this. See all this play? Look how much play that is before it actually turns. See? That's a lot. That's a lot of play in my axle. Like I said, if I keep running it like this, especially with those modified motors, or with .32s, stock or modified, especially modified, all that torque and power could break if you have a lot of play like this. Just turn it, you know. It could break that pin inside of your CVD. I'm gonna show y'all more what the CVD is if you have a CVD. So it's time to just rebuild your CVD. It ain't nothing that can be replaced. It's not that expensive to rebuild your axles and stuff like this. But it's very important because you don't want it to break on you. So all that play is not good. We run high power engines, and that's a lot of power for it to get the slack out and then go. You can hear, just me doing like this, you can hear the drivetrain clicking before it actually moves. See? So you do that all the way around the car. Check that right and go left. See this one? Same thing. It's too much play. Just time to do your maintenance. Go to the rear. See, that's the same. I took that one out just to show y'all with the CVDs. This is CVD. This is the CVD style drivetrain and your axle. So this the cylinder goes inside the hole right here. That goes down inside of this, like that, and it has the opening. It has the opening like that, where the pin goes through, right there. And on the axle itself, the pin goes through that. That's what keeps it all together. But I want to show y'all. You see that little, hold on, get it focused. See that little silver notch right there? That comes from having excess play. So basically, it's walling out that hole. It's walling out that hole right there. So they'll make that hole oblong, and it'll make it have play like this. So the good thing about the hot body CVD out drives, the axles, you have multiple holes. Like I said, that one is hollowed out. So you can move on to the next hole and use that one. See, yeah, that one's hollowed out, so I'm gonna use this one right here. So that's a good thing about these HBs out drives. If you want to run out drives, you have CVD out drives like this, and like on my new buggy, you have the universal style. And if you have the universal style, it just keep these clean, keep them very clean, and keep them greased, because it's still that pin right there, that metal to metal in there. It's good to keep that clean and greased up, and that reduce wear when you keep them greased up with the universals. So with these CVDs, the best thing you can do is just, I'm gonna put it together and show y'all the difference in the slack, how it takes the slack out when you rebuild it and put it in the new hole. So y'all hold on 1 second. Okay, y'all, I did want to show you this before I got a half rebuilt, but I want to show y'all what happens if you run it with that, with the slack in it. You'll show you what the pin I was talking about, what it does to it. You see those notches right here and here? That comes from that slack. The engine taking that slack out your drivetrain and it's snapping it, and it just, gouging that pin. So it's making those notches in the pin because of wear. So just imagine running those 28s with modified, and that's, in there. They're just going, eventually it will break this pin. And you don't want it to break, because you're gonna lose power and drive, and you'll be wondering what's going on. I just, clean my truck. But if you don't, you got to do with those modified, you have to do more maintenance and just watch little stuff like this. And like I said, these are not expensive to rebuild. I think it's like $6 a pack to get a rebuild kit with a new fresh pin. So so yeah, y'all, just keep an eye on that. I'm finna put this back in my CVD. Hold on a second. Okay, y'all, I got it rebuilt and put back together. Okay, see now, see how it's more true? No slack. But I wouldn't use the same pin. I'm gonna put a fresh pin in there, because it'll be, with the pin like it is with those notches in it, the pin is just not as strong. And I wouldn't trust it, because we run these high power engines. I wouldn't trust it. It may break, or it will make the axle itself, the hole that is in, it'll make it wear more. But what really helps and really will keep you from doing the maintenance so much, when you do clean it, pack a whole lot of grease down inside of here. Put some grease on the pin before you put it back in. Just grease it up. Grease them up much as you can. It don't matter how. Put much as you can in here, and they'll keep down on the friction and keep down on the metal to metal contact, and it'll make this last a whole lot longer. And what good about this one is it has this cover over it, so I can pack it full of grease and then put this on it like this. I can pack. It's got a little boot. This got a boot. I know everybody don't have boots, but maybe if you don't have a boot, you can put a little bit of shrink wrap, heat shrink over this part of the CVD. That'll help it. Also keep the grease in and keep the dirt out from getting in there. But since I got this boot, I just put the boot over it like this, pack it full of grease, put the boot over it like that with all the grease in there, and then put this over the boot. And see, it keeps it sealed up. And look, true, no slack. No slack. The difference between the CVD style and the universals, between the universals a little bit less maintenance, but you still have to keep them greased because it still has the metal to metal. You still got the those pins in there. And this style, as far as like your racers, this style right here, CVD, it gives you more traction because of how it's, you know, at that angle. It gives overall more traction on high grip tracks. And the universal style like this is better. It's not it don't give you as much. It still give you real good traction. It give you good traction, but not as good as the CVD style. But it's real good in the bumps. So, as far as the basher, either one would be good. This is just a little bit less maintenance, but it still give you good traction. But this style give you the best traction. So, but that's number 2. Make sure your drivetrain is on point, especially if you're running modified motors. Make sure all this stuff right here is smooth. You don't want any slack. See, I gotta replace this one, so that's why I'm gonna get some, and I gotta redo this one, redo my rear one. Got slack, and I gotta check those pins. I gotta check that pin right there. That's what keeps it all together. That pin right there. I gotta check that pin and and the rest out in the other 3 of mine on the truggy. This one's done, so I gotta check the other 3. But it's best just to get the brand new pin. Get a fresh pin. Get the rebuild kits. Like I said, is probably about $6. 2. You can do 2. Like in one kit, it comes with 2 rebuild pins, the little cylinder. You can do your front and back in one pack. So I'm gonna have to get 2 or 3 packs to do, the whole truck or whatever. But you get 2. You can do 2, your front and rear. You can do your front with 1 pack of rebuild and 1 pack of the rebuild kits. So that's what I'm trying to say. You can do the front, both your front, left and right side, with 1 pack of the rebuild kits, and then so you basically just have to buy 2 to do all 4 corners, the front and rear. So the next thing, after you got your drive shafts, the CVDs, you got everything tightened up with that. After you done that, got that good. Also, another thing that's really overlooked is your brakes. So a good way to maintenance your brakes is when you get ready to clean that, you just get you take your brake, center differ loose, get your brake pads off, and just get some sandpaper, nothing major. Just get you some sandpaper and just get your brake pad and just rub it in a circular motion like this on the sandpaper. What the sandpaper is doing is rub it evenly in circular motion. Just like that. And what the sandpaper is doing is basically it's cleaning your brakes, and it's also scuffing your brakes up, so when you get ready to hit your brakes on your controller, it's gonna grab more consistent than it does when you just continue to run and run and run, because it's roughing the surface up. It's gonna give you a better braking. So you do that, take your brake on some sandpaper and just rub it in a circular motion, just like this. just like that. You just turn it over and do the other side. Circular motion, circular motion. Just get it even. Like I say, it's cleaning and it's making your brakes better because it's scuffing it up, which you're gonna be able to get more consistent braking power. And once you got it scuffed up, if you can clean it, it's gonna have a little dust on it. You can get some brake cleaner and spray on your brake disc, and just spray the, and just clean the little dust off that's gonna come up from you rubbing it on the sandpaper. So that's number 3. And if you don't have brake discs like this, but if you may have, let's see, let me get the other buggy. Okay. On my other buggy, if y'all can see, I have the silver brake, the metal brake disc, but my brake pads are on the brake caliper itself, right here. That's my, right here. Okay. So this is my brake pad on the caliper. So if you want to, when you do your maintenance, take this off, clean. You can clean that down real good with some carburetor cleaner, and just keep your eye on these. Make sure they're good. Make sure they're wearing evenly. If they're not wearing evenly, just be time to just buy some more of these, because it's all one piece. Buy some more and it just come all in one piece. It's just time. Just buy some more of these brake calipers, but just keep an eye on them over time. Keep an eye on them because they will wear down. So when they wear down, you just have to buy the calipers themselves. This piece, that, and they'll come 2 in a pack. So you might have to buy 2 of those because you have this the rear brake, and then you got, the front brake. Maybe I can see it. See, the front brake right here. So you can't really see because of my the top of my diff, but just the front brake. So you might have about 2 packs of these. 2 of those come in 1 pack. So you got 1 pack for the rear, and maybe another pack for the front. So y'all, just give y'all some tips, man, things to look for when you're getting ready to do the maintenance on your vehicles. Like I said, it's more to it than just cleaning them up and make sure they look good and pretty. We have to also do this maintenance. Like I say, maintaining your drivetrain is really more important than having a good tuned engine. Because without your drivetrain, your engine, you can't do nothing without your drivetrain being in good working condition. It won't have nothing to pull your wheels. The engine won't work right without your drivetrain being in order. So this is a little simple stuff you can do. Like I said, with those modified engines, you may have to do it more often, which is all good. That's what happens when you step your game up. You want modified, you gotta do modified type maintenance. So you gotta do more maintenance. So just to keep an eye on those things. Just remember, when you wash it off first, clean your whips up first, clean them first. After you clean them, wipe them down, dry them off. Then, like I say, check your arms. You got play, time to replace it. Play, it's time to replace. Check your drivetrain, your axles. You have play with the CVD style. It's time to rebuild. If you have the universal style, like this, just take them out and just grease them up real good. And with the CVDs, just pack much grease as you can in there. And like I said, that grease, you'll be surprised how much longer that would last when they all greased up. Like I said, if you can, you couldn't put a piece of shrink wrap on this part of your CVD. And that also, another tip, I'm gonna give y'all an extra tip. Now this is just for a freebie. With that shrink wrap, what it's gonna do, if just in case something happens, you see, and your pin does break, that CVD will actually keep that shrink wrap will actually keep that pin in, and which will keep you running until you can, you know, do your maintenance and repair that pin and replace that pin. So, but main thing is just keep a hold. Put much as grease as you can in here. Don't eat. Put much as you can. The sloppier the better. Just gonna make it last longer. So check your axles on all four corners, front and back, left and right, front and back. And then once you do that, get your brakes. Check your brakes. Like I say, get some sandpaper. Get your brake pad. If you got one of these, this type brake, get sandpaper, circular motion evenly. One side, circular motion again evenly. What's it doing? It's just scuffing your brakes up, which is gonna give you more braking power. Once you got it even on both sides, then you can get some brake cleaner and just spray the brakes off and get the dust off of it. And then just reassemble everything and y'all ready to go. Like I say, this Core Joint with TTR Racing. Just giving you some tips, man. And like I said, this is what it's all for us to help each other. And I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Don Foss. Where you been, Don? Give a big shout out to Mr. Chili. That's my partner, Mr. Chili. I appreciate you, bro. Looking for your next video. Give a shout out to Dave. I'm gonna give a shout out to RC Nitro Addict. Appreciate you, bro. And give a shout out to Woogie Nitro. Appreciate you. And hey, this Core Jordan, TTR Racing. Just giving a little tips. This is what we're here for, to help each other. Hey. And y'all be safe. Again, Happy New Year. And let's take this thing to another level. And always remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. All right, y'all. Later.